When a Pope pushes a commit into the code base of all of humanity, guess what happens? Hello friends, it's Jerry again. Today I want to share something pretty wild. A message of nearly 90,000 words from the Pope written about AI. And honestly, a Pope just did a code review for our industry, talking about infrastructure, data, compute, and the responsibility of the people who operate it all. Okay, let me walk you through it quickly, part by part. Let's go! But wait, why would a guy who spends all day worrying about uptime and cloud bills, like me, go read a Vatican document? Because it talks about infrastructure, data, compute, energy, system reliability, and the responsibility of operators. Exactly the things we grind on every single day. The only difference is, it's written in Latin and sealed with red wax. A Pope just reviewed code for our industry, folks. Okay, let me take you through it section by section. Fair warning, I speak plainly, no empty buzzwords, and I use a lot of infrastructure metaphors. Think of this as a post-mortem for a cultural and technological incident. Alright, let's go! Part 1. What is actually happening here? There are two things, an original document and the community's reaction. The document is Magnificat Humanitas by Leo XIV, his first encyclical about protecting human beings in the age of AI. The juiciest point for technical people, he says AI is grown more than built, exactly our black box problem. And AI is not morally neutral. Your config is a declaration of your values. And the part that gave me chills. Every perfect answer from an AI stands on a chain of invisible labor, data labelers, content moderators, children digging for rare earth. The central image, the arrogant Tower of Babel, set against the rebuilding of Jerusalem, brick by brick. The question, in the end, what are we building? And this is my favorite image in the whole document. Running through the entire message are two construction projects. On one side, the Tower of Babel, built on power and arrogance, only to collapse and dehumanize. On the other, the rebuilding of Jerusalem in the days of Nehemiah, built one brick at a time, slow, unglamorous, but a shared responsibility of everyone. The whole document folds into one single question that every systems architect should ask themselves. In the end, what exactly are we building? In short, this is an extremely rare pair of documents, the world's most ancient moral authority colliding head-on with the world's newest technology, and that collision recorded from both sides. Part 2. Who are the characters? Pope Leo XIV, the first American Pope. He didn't pick the name Leo by accident. Leo XIII wrote Rerum Novarum in 1891 for the Industrial Revolution, and now this is the sequel for the age of AI. On the other side is the tech community, split into very clear camps. Atheists praising it, the best take on technology I've ever seen from the Vatican. The critics calling it too soft on the industry. And the self-deprecating camp asking the troll question, yeah, it's great, but can this pipeline draw a pelican riding a bicycle? Poking fun at a famous AI benchmark. Someone else confessed bitterly, the post was so long, my first reflex was to throw it into an AI for a summary. A papal document about AI, and my reflex was to hand it to an AI. What is wrong with me? Hold on, let me read that one again. A document by the Pope about AI, and people's first instinct is to feed it to an AI. Haha, oh man, unbelievable. And to be honest, I'm exactly the same, no better than anyone. Haha. And the final character, the guest of honor, Anthropic with Chris Olah. This is the biggest wow detail for people in the industry. A separate discussion thread appeared, capturing comments from Chris Olah, co-founder of Anthropic, about this very encyclical. Olah is a pioneer of model interpretability, exactly the research field of why can't we understand what's inside these models. When the message says AI is grown more than built, it lands dead center in Olah's territory. Do you see how beautiful that loop is? A co-founder of a top AI lab publicly responding to the Pope. This is not some fringe religious story anymore. This is the business of the very people who build these models every day. Part 3. The timing and why it is everything. The encyclical was signed exactly on the 135th anniversary of Rerum Novarum, a deliberate seamling pointing straight back to the past, and it dropped right at the peak of the AI fever, when every company is shouting AI first, laying people off in the name of automation. Everyone, the 12 with speed, is sprinting at full speed, with an error budget of 0 for ethics. And the message asks exactly the question many people are already asking themselves: where exactly are we racing to? And here's the great part, the document is self-aware about its own timing. Every statement about AI risks becoming obsolete quickly, given the astonishing speed at which these systems develop. A document designed for eternity, openly admitting it might soon be deprecated. You know that feeling? They pre-wrote the line, "This document may be outdated by the time you read it," right into the RFC. Part 4. Where does it live, and how far has it spread? The origin lives on a Vatican server, but it will not sit still. The Washington Post and Slate covered it. Simon Willison wrote notes on it. Folks on GitHub even converted it into an e-book. And the deepest layer, the one that hits infrastructure people right in the heart. Where does AI live geopolitically? The message calls data the new rare earth and warns of a new kind of colonialism, seizing data instead of bodies. For Vietnam, this is not abstract at all. We are the mineral mine, the labeling shop, the population data warehouse, a client-server architecture imposed on an entire civilization. Part 5. Why does this encyclical exist at all? The answer is in paragraph 5. In the past, the state steered innovation. Today, it is private corporations with resources exceeding many governments. When power shifts from the state, which at least must answer to its people, to corporations that only answer to shareholders, then who watches this power becomes the most urgent moral question of our time. And deeper still, AI beats us on speed, but it has no body, no experience, no responsibility. What it calls learning is just statistical adaptation, not inner growth. The message exists to plant a marker. Do not confuse those two things. Part 6. Why did it go so viral? Because of a perfect combo, the surprise factor. Turns out, monks have been doing science for centuries. It touches the nerve of, should we even build this? It spawns memes. It's controversial enough to keep burning. It got validated by insiders like Olah. And one quote sounds very hacker ethic, placing algorithms and data in the category of common goods. And the best question in the whole thread had nothing to do with religion. Has humanity ever truly tamed a technology for the common good? The most respected answer, short on dry: electricity. In the end, everyone uses it, and the power companies did not take off the world. Which of exactly the central thesis? Technology can be tamed, but through struggle and institutions, never. And one final point I really love, the most intelligent question of the entire discussion had nothing to do with religion at all. Someone asked, has humanity ever actually tamed a technology for the common good? Or are we always swept along by the way technology itself concentrates or distributes power? And the most respected answer, short and dry: electricity. In the end, electricity is everywhere, everyone uses it, and the electric companies did not take over the world. The asker then went off and read the history of electrification, came back and said it gave him hope. That exchange accidentally replaced the exact central thesis of the encyclical. Technology can be tamed, but only through struggle, regulation, and institutions, never automatically. Which is also precisely the theme of Rerum Novarum 135 years ago. The circle closes perfectly. Part 7. Applying it at the global level. Alright friends, enough analysis. Now for the part I find most exciting, turning the document into action. However brilliant an encyclical is, if it can't be deployed, it's just a dead document in a wiki that nobody reads. 5 directions, compressed. 1. Disarm AI, cool down the arms race. This is the document's most original concept. Disarmament doesn't mean throwing the technology away. It means pulling it out of the arms race mindset. The race for ever stronger algorithms and ever bigger data, purely for dominance. For technical people, there's a very close metaphor. This is a call to move from move fast and break things to error budget thinking, deliberately accepting a slower pace when risk crosses the threshold. Paragraph 106 says exactly that. Sometimes a slower pace is needed, and that is not anti-progress, it is responsible care. 2. Treat data as a common good, the moral foundation for GDPR and data sovereignty. 3. Supply chain transparency, a kind of ethical manifest for models. 4. Name and fight the AI monopolies, exactly the way society once tamed the electric utilities. 5. Measure what actually matters, don't just stare at GDP. To be fair, the message states principles but dodges concrete enforcement. It is a blueprint that sets constraints, not a bill of law. Part 8. Applying it at the personal level, for you and me. Things we can do right now. Turn accountability into real observability. Full logging, being able to explain why the model rejected an application. Add an ethical consideration section to every design doc. Support open source in genuinely concrete ways. And remember the invisible people on night shift at the other end of the line. And the thing that moved me a little is exactly human dignity. It means keeping the spirit online even on the worst infrastructure imaginable. The lesson: a person's worth is not their output. In an industry as obsessed with metrics as ours, that is a reminder worth its weight in gold. Part 9. Babel or Jerusalem? You choose at every commit. A 2,000-year-old authority looks straight at the newest technology and does not reject it. It only asks what we are building and for whom. The closing line deserves to be pinned on every repo. The building of the Tower of Babel or the rebuilding of Jerusalem begins within each one of us. The architecture of an entire civilization is decided by millions of small choices. Every line of config, every time you choose open or closed, optimizing for people or for numbers. Alright, let's go build Jerusalem, friends, one brick at a time. And if you remember only one thing, make it these 3. Keep building, keep asking, stay awake. Now it's your turn. In your opinion, are we building Babel or Jerusalem? Drop a comment and let me know. I'll try to reply to as many as I can. If you enjoyed this, give Jerry a like and hit subscribe. All the sources are in the description. See you in the next video. Bye bye!